What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. Just letting all my fans know, be prepared for a hate train to be taking place on my channel. You know, the funny thing about it is that I'm not even all that worried. I'm not all that, upset or... Because I was like, with my last video that I uploaded, which was a voiceover that I did, it's, getting some dislikes. And, yeah, I already know, this is what they do, when you come out and say something against their leader, you're gonna have to face some things over it. So overall, I'm not going to start no conversations because I'm with any of these guys, I'm gonna just continue doing the content that I've been doing. Because I already know how these guys are. Is as soon as you say something, as soon as you do something, then they want to use that against you and try to make it seem like that you're the scum of the earth. And like I said in the last video that I made on them, which was, so I did a video kind of repeating some things that I had seen and said in the prison mate Luke reaction. But then it's also just kind of talking on the aftermath of that video, reacting to it and crap. And knowing I know after I upload these videos, the Just the Robot fans, they're going to be doing everything in their power to try to once again get me off of YouTube. And I'm like, you guys tried for 4 years, and where'd that lead y'all? It led you guys nowhere. So that's why I'm not worried. I'm not tripping off of it. If that's what they want to do, if they want to waste their time doing that stuff, be my guest, go right ahead. Yeah, it's overall I can't, let me turn my TV off because it's kind of distracting. But anyways, so yeah, to tell you guys, for those that are new to the situation, what's going on, why are you getting dislikes, what's happening right now. So there was this guy that I used to beef with named Just a Robot. Recently, well, not recently, back in December, there was this video that got uploaded of him pretty much being exposed as a racist. I recently just reacted to the video, and then also just then did a video kind of, well, not kind of, but it's a end game. That's why I actually titled the video. It's the end game, the final, video from that series. But I had did this series a few years back called This Community is Racist, talking on his community. And then, yeah, recently I did a video where it was overall talking on some more racist things that I discovered, and overall just talking on my experiences dealing with that crowd. So yeah, they disliked that video. They disliked the prison mate Luke video. It's funny because I was I know they're talking crap about me. I looked up my name on Twitter. They're talking crap about me on there. I know that one racist Twitter guy, I know he's gonna be having a field day with all of this, because he was he had been hating on me since 2018. And so then I had this kid was questioning me, overall, oh, well, who was you talking about, who was you? I'm you is a child, get out of here, go to a park and play or something, go on a swing set. I'm fam, I don't have to answer to nobody. I was entertaining it for a little bit, but I was wait a second, who is this guy? He has no power here. So I'm he thought I was talking about somebody else. I'm all I said I was talking about somebody. Did you hear me mention this person's name? Did you hear? No. So if I'm talking on this person that you talk about, I will mention their name. Until then, I'm fam, who are you? You ain't got no power. You is a child. So anyways, but yeah, that whole situation, it's crazy. Overall, I guess, what I plan on doing this time around, if the hate gets bad, then, yeah, just continue doing my content. Overall, it's my thing is that now that I've, kind of, put myself in a community of my own, it's okay, well, people are going to see that, and then it's going to lead, down to Just a Robot. So, at some point in time, this stuff will come to, light. It will be shown, and it will be broadcast, all across social media and stuff. And it's you guys, regardless, my thing is regardless of what you guys do, regardless if you want to spread hate on my channel, regardless if you don't want to spread hate to my channel, either way, whether my channel blows up, whether Just a Robot's channel blows up, or whoever's, this stuff is going to be promoted. This stuff is going to be shown. This stuff is going to be talked about. So there's, at the end of the day, it's a lose-lose situation for Just a Robot. Unless he comes out in some video and apologizes. But if he ain't doing that, then it's a lose-lose situation. Like, you came out in videos and was dropping hard R's, saying all this other racist crap, and you think that it's okay for you at the end of all of this? No, it's not. Like, my thing is, like, if you don't apologize, like, right now, your career is done. It's done. Because you guys sit down and think about it. You apologize for this stuff now. Like, even though it's been going on for years. But it's not too late. Like, video then came out. Like, it ain't too late for you to apologize. So if you do apologize for this stuff, and then you're all like, hey, to anybody. Because I'm like, people, they were overall telling me like, oh, he did a response video. He did a response video. I can care less about that. Nobody, my thing is like, when you've offended a person, do you think they really want to hear a response? No. They want to hear an apology. To know, like, hey, you felt bad for what you did. But when you show that you don't feel bad, then it's like you feel like that you... And I'm like, I know people are going to try to compare, like, me, because I know I've said that, like, I don't feel bad for what I said or what I did. Yeah, because that stuff, to tell the difference between the two, I offended them guys. I didn't offend a whole race. I just offended a community. I could care less if I offended a community. You offended a whole race. Any black person that will watch your videos will be offended. Besides the ones, because my thing is like, I can go up to numerous black people, right, and show them that video that Prison Mate Luke had made, or even go as far as to just show them your channel. And black people are going to look at that channel and be like, something sus about this. Especially that Confederate flag video. Like, how my thing is like, how do you fake that video? How do you take that video out of context? Prison Mate Luke, and it's funny because people are saying, they're like, he took that video, or he's taking things that Just a Robot said out of context. He's lying. He's not telling the truth. And I'm like, fam, if you go to Just a Robot, I think it's Just a Robot. It was his original channel. You go to that original channel, and you go to some of the earliest videos. He has this video talking about the Confederate flag and how it's not racist. Like, my thing is that you might think that the Confederate flag is not racist. And it's so funny when people, when they try to have that conversation, they sound stupid. Because in this day and age, today, if you see the Confederate flag, what are you going to think about? If you were, my thing is like, if you were born, same year as me, 1996, right? And I wasn't born all the way back when the Confederate flag originally got created. I was born in 1996. So as the years progressed on, and I'm reading all these books about slavery, I'm reading all these books about racism, I'm watching all of these TV shows and movies about slavery and racism. And the one thing that I see a lot, okay, I ain't seeing black people hold no Confederate flags. No, I'm seeing racist white people holding the Confederate flag. I'm saying, like, how do you fake that? How do you lie about that? How do you lie about the Confederate flag, you know, being, like, I'm confused on that. I'm very, very confused on that. So when the people are trying to, like, convince me, I'm like, you obviously haven't done your studies on, you know, racism and slavery and all of that, because that was one thing that I was working on, and I lost, like, all the, like, pretty much footage and stuff to it and things. I think I think I did. I was like, or I'll have to try to find it if I did work on it and all that stuff. But no, I think I had to go through one of my old lab. I don't even think I worked on it. But no, I had did this thing, and it was talking on like fugitive slaves. Pretty much, like, you know, and I don't even feel comfortable, like, calling them fugitive slaves, because it's like, first off, black people, I mean, like, you know, yes, like, black people was a part of slavery, but I just don't like referring to them as slaves. Like, I like referring to them as black people. They were people just like everybody else that was walking around Earth back hundreds and hundreds of years ago breathing. They wasn't slaves. They wasn't fugitive slaves. They wasn't any of that stuff. And I know it's like, you know, like, that's overall, like, their description. That's overall who they, like, you know, were. But that's not how I'm going to define them. No, that they were, you know, black people that was caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time. So that's how I see it. But there's black people back then that was being put in that category as fugitive slaves. And I remember I did this whole study about it on my own. There wasn't even like no class or school project. I did this all on my own just to overall work on the documentary, bringing awareness, to black, legends back then. Harriet Tubman, freaking, who else? There was like so many different people that I learned about even before Harriet Tubman's times. Like Harriet Tubman wasn't the only one that was like out there doing that stuff. There is so many people like from like early like hundreds of years before that, slavery was even going on. And they showed how like there were black people that was coming from these islands, right? There's black people coming from these islands and it was so fascinating. It was like honestly one of the most beautiful things to learn about. It was like black people that was coming from these islands, and I think it was just like as the time progressed on, they wasn't like really prepared for what was happening and things. And so like for the slavery that we all like study and know about, like, or that we see movies about and things. But they were talking on how like there is these black people from these islands that was defending their islands, like they were like having fights, like defending themselves because people was still trying to do that stuff. So slavery had been going on. Like slavery ended hundreds of years ago, but slavery had been going on for hundreds of years prior before that. So they were I remember I read this whole thing talking on that. And then of course like with the Civil War, and it was like it ended all of that stuff. And then like eventually it's like racism still lived on. There's people still out there hunting down, killing black people. I mean, look at the Emmett Till situation. Look at all the things that's going on in the world right now. And one of the things that we see the most, even when Trump supporters was raiding the Capitol, what was one of the flags that we were seeing when they were doing that? The Confederate flag. So you think for a second, when a person of color sees a Confederate flag, you think we're going to think something positive of it? The people that's using it don't even think positive of it. So my thing is like, Just a Robot, he messed up on that. He messed up on that. That there ain't no denying that. He messed up. If you wanted to sit down and defend him, then you're a racist too. Whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, I don't care what you are. You're being racist. And if you're black, you are just blinded. You are just straight blinded by all of this. Like, you so caught up being a fan, and it's like, here it is. Because my thing is like, if you're black and you support Just a Robot, and if you're going, my thing, how would you feel if a cop pulled you over, right? Pepper sprayed you, shot you, or there's somebody that you was with, and they pepper sprayed them, shot and killed them? How would that make you feel? You mean to tell me you wouldn't be up and down the street screaming Black Lives Matter? You wouldn't be up on wherever trying to overall put a stop to this type of stuff? Or you still gonna be at home watching Just a Robot videos? My thing is like, if you answer and say you still gonna be at home, I ain't looking for no explanation. I ain't looking for no excuse. I ain't looking for no, no. Two answers, okay? If you have any black people in your life that you care about, right? This is going out to any Just a Robot fan. If you have any black people that you care about in life, right? That you honestly to God, you love them. You have love for them. And you don't see what's going on in the world right now because you're too blinded by watching Just a Robot videos and following him across social media and all this crap and hearing what he has to say and blocking out everybody else. You have any black people in your life that you care about, and you think like if they watch his videos and they get offended, you're sit down trying to tell, oh, you shouldn't be offended, you shouldn't be. How do you think that's gonna make them feel? Like honestly, how do you think that's gonna make them feel? But it's like, getting back to what I was saying. If you, at the end of the day, continue watching Just a Robot videos, right? Well, all this stuff that's going on in the world, all this stuff that's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years, and you continue watching his videos, you're racist. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Black, white, I don't care what you are. You're being racist. And it's like, honestly, it's so mind confusing when I see that there's black people that's out there supporting him. Like, honestly. There's no black people, mom, dad, brother, sister, friends. Like, if you're black and you're watching his videos, you don't have anybody that you are related to, that you are friends with, that you care about, and At the end of the day, what would you do? They were to get shot and killed, pepper sprayed, beaten within an inch of their life. You gonna be overall trying to, like, you know, bring some awareness to that, or are you gonna be at home watching just the robot videos? You see how dumb that sounds? You see how dumb that comparison is? There's real legit stuff going on in this world, and y'all want to sit around and watch just the robot videos. I don't even care if you, I'm not even asking y'all to watch my videos or to listen to my podcast. I would rather prefer for you guys to go out there and actually find my thing. I promote that stuff on social media and the internet. When was the last time he promoted any of that stuff? The only thing that he's promoted is racism. Having one of his fans go out and tell me that the George Floyd and Breonna Taylor situation isn't important, it doesn't matter to him. It should matter to you. It should matter more than my reaction videos or whatever other videos I'm doing on the internet. Like, the fact that people say things like that and you carry on with that, you live with that, you support that, and I'm supposed to be okay with it. No, I'm not going to be okay with that. I'm never going to be okay with that. People out here being racist. I remember I said that a long time ago. I will always, you know, take the time to fight against racism on the internet, because the amount of racism on the internet is just crazy. You know, the amount of racism that a black content creator, and that's why it's like, you know, to any of the black content or people that support Just a Robot, you don't know how it is to be a black content creator. I don't care how many videos you got. I don't care how many views you got. I don't care what you doing on the internet. You don't have no, you are not a content creator. You don't understand. Where you wake up, you post a video, and you got people calling you the N-word, calling you a monkey, saying all these other racist derogatory things to you, saying that you deserve a noose, saying like, oh, you need to, like, you know, arguing with you about whether a black life matters or not. I just had somebody today, while I was streaming, send me a tweet talking about, oh, well, if you guys stop running from the cops, like, oh yeah, a black person's not supposed to be scared. When there's guns pointing at them from every angle, yeah, they don't have a right to be scared. Like, yeah, like my thing is like, you try telling that to the mom of that 13-year-old. He wasn't even black, but you try telling that to the mom of the 13-year-old that was just recently shot and killed. That's why them cops be having to resign, get fired, and all this other crap. With the Dante Wright situation. That's why that cop, she's currently in jail right now. It's like, oh yeah, it's like, because it's like, what do you think is, my thing is like, what do you think is more life-threatening? A man running from the cops, or a man getting shot and killed by cops? Which is more life-threatening? If you have to sit down and think about that answer, then you obviously just told yourself who you are in life. You're being racist. You are. There's no argument with that. There's no argument with that whatsoever. If you don't know between the two, man just lost his life, and you're trying to sit down and think, oh, well, maybe if he would have did, maybe. No, the man is scared. You can't talk on what you would do in a situation like that. You're not living in that man's shoes. You aren't. You're not getting pulled over for a cop thinking, oh, you don't have your not driver's license, but license plate. Or because you have freaking, what was it for Dante's Wright situation? He had, I think they said that there was all like, they seen that he had a warrant or whatever. But my thing is like, was that a reason for him to die? And my thing is like, what was the warrant? Like, what was the reason why he had a warrant? There's no reason for him to die. That man should still be alive to this day. People out here thinking like, oh, it's, you know, wrong for these, like, making it seem like that overall black lives don't matter. And that's why you have me making this episode, and me gonna most likely make a few videos tonight talking on this crap. It's like, it's not cool. It is not cool. It's, I'm not saying that Just a Robot's videos have offended me, but all of this stuff that's going on in the world, it is offensive. It is messed up. And when I see it, I'm like, man, I sit down and think, what if that was me? What if that was one of my friends? You know, like, now it's like because I'm like, and that's just the crazy thing to think about, where if, let's say, you know, and hope and pray to God that it never does happen, but if I were to ever be caught up on the news because a cop decided that he's going to pepper spray me 4 times, put me in a chokehold, put his knee on my neck and suffocate me, shoot and kill me, you know, overall do one of the things that's been getting done to black people in the recent years. And knowing you guys will sit down and be like, oh, well, TMossBoss probably deserve it, because you guys have this built up hatred in your brain. And you think that that's normal because of some videos? Really? Y'all think that that stuff is normal to carry on like that? There's people surrounded, like, no, because that's why I'm like, okay, if that's the case, I want y'all to see all of my friends and family that will be on TV or anywhere crying their eyes out because I'm not here anymore. Like, to sit down and think of that, that's sad. That is really, really sad. Because there's people that I know that they care strongly for me, friends and family. And if something like that were to happen to me, I know that that would be probably the hardest thing that they've ever had to deal with in life. Something that they'll most likely or never recover by. And in your guys' built up heads, oh, he deserved it because it's TMossBoss. He deserved it because it's people like that. There's nothing that you can say to me. There's nothing that you can like try to convince me to make it seem like that. No, I already have it built up in my head what kind of people you are. And at the end of the day, between the both of us, if people outside of of us, people outside of us, people that are just bystanders, they take a good look at us. They're gonna probably call us silly for just going back and forth like this. But who do you think they're gonna support between the both parties? The racist community or the black YouTuber just out here entertaining people? That's why people are chanting Black Lives Matter. Like, at the end of the day, I'm like, you guys want to carry on like that? Be my guest. I can't stop y'all. Y'all are grown adults. And then it's sad that it's like some of y'all is like grown adults, and then you're putting this in the mind of a child that's watching you guys, and then you think that that's normal. So good luck with that. The day that you guys have kids, man, I hope and pray the best for them. I really do hope and pray that the day when Just a Robot or any of the people in his community, the day that you guys have kids, right? The day that you have kids and they grow up, right? And most likely you guys are probably not going to tell them about, how you watch Just a Robot or how you was into YouTube, or tell them about your channels or any of that. Probably by the time that any of these guys start having a family and all of that, they're most likely going to be gone from YouTube. If any of them do plan on having kids. But I know there's people in this world that exist that don't want kids. But if any of them decide, let's say if Just a Robot, the day he decides to have kids, and his kid, my thing is like, his kid is going to grow up in this day and age. Just a Robot, wherever he grew up in, it must have been in some like southern down south, like in a racist area. But his kid is going to grow up. His kid is most likely going to, I hope his kid marries a black woman or man, however they swing. But anyways, there's going to be a day though, jokes aside, there's going to be a day where they do meet one black person in their life. And that's going to be the closest person that they consider in their life. That's going to be somebody that they strongly care about, right? Now let's hope and pray to God that nothing ever happens to them. Because if then, guess who's going to be up and down the street screaming Black Lives Matter, holding a sign saying justice for whoever? And do you honestly think Just a Robot, it's like he's going to support that? Does he even support that stuff now? All of the stuff that's going on in the world right now, do you think he supports it? Do you think he supports the people that's protesting Dante's right life? Or the 13-year-old kid that was just recently shot and killed? A 13-year-old kid. Talking to that whole community, how would that make you feel if that was your child? Your child just living their life. You're a person of color. Don't give me that crap excuse where it's like, well, I'm not a person. Shut up. Don't give me no crap like that. You're a person of color. You have a kid of color. That kid gets shot and killed. How did that make you feel? If you still, at the end of the day, gonna be repeating some stuff, you ain't even talking for yourself. You're saying some stuff that Just a Robot said. You're not thinking for yourself, not talking for yourself. You're just repeating what he says. If you're gonna do that, this conversation is over. This conversation is done. There doesn't anything else that just doesn't. You displayed how you are, and you showed that you won't care about your kids. So at the end of the day, argument's over. It's like, y'all displayed how you guys are. Like, convince me otherwise. Like, that's on, if I'm going to end this off on anything, convince me otherwise. But if not, then yeah, there's honestly, it's like, y'all displayed who you are as people, and you pretty much like, if you're gonna try to find a reason to argue with me, like, oh well, my kid wouldn't be out there. But if they're like, if your kid's just minding their own business, you think a cop is gonna see that? Oh, that person's minding their own business, so I'm just gonna leave them be. All those people that was in those videos getting shot, killed, pepper sprayed, freaking choked out, they were all minding their own business, and a cop came up on them talking about, oh, my life was threatened, my life was this and that and all these other extra things. They say that about your kid, and I'm like, and you support that? Something wrong with you. Something mentally wrong with you. Like, nah, dead serious. Like, I don't know what y'all got going on, but something wrong with y'all. So, anyways, yeah. Talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.